Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. We're like a book club for people who hate reading. This week we're doing the movie Incendies, made in 2010, and James bringing movie news at the end of the program. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and the old guy.
Old guy's here.
I wanted to apologize again that we're going to be losing our ability to push to iTunes for the foreseeable future. We're still trying to figure out how we can deliver to iTunes, but we wanted to let you know that you can go to our YouTube page or our website for Old Guy Tech, which is theogt.tv, or check out our Facebook page and keep up. You can keep in contact with us and all the latest, greatest, and we even post movie news occasionally.
Or you can try to send me hate mail. That's always fun.
Very entertaining. So, who has the description of this?
It's in front of me. I'll read it.
I'll go. You go.
Twins journey to the Middle East to discover their family history and fulfill their mother's last wishes.
And since James picked this for me, I think I'll go.
All right. Step right up.
Yeah, swing, bada.
No, so this is you start, but we get the pound on you.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Right,
pretty much.
I just want to make sure. Okay.
That's pretty much.
All right.
My first thought is I loved how her brothers or family members or whatever just walked up to that, what is it, the guy she slept with?
Okay.
And just walked up and whack! Just shot him straight in the forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's her reaction was,
Wahab!
yeah, exactly. That's it. By the way, very supportive family. I should kill you!
Yeah.
The one thing I got to say is I do think there's some social context and country context. I think that we don't pick up a little, but I think they do a pretty good job of at least kind of trying to explain it to you as the movie continues.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think that's... Well, I mean, because they're basically explaining it to the kids, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Or kids, or the twins.
Right.
They're basically explaining it to them as well, because they don't know. They lived in Canada basically their whole life, as much as they remember. And
I actually really liked the fact that the way they did that, instead of some movies do today and just, explain it to you like you're five. They do it in an intelligible means, and which I really like.
So what did you think of the opening scene? That was a really one that always sticks out to me, is when they basically don't tell you anything except for you just seeing all these kids getting their heads shaved, basically going into terrorist training camp. What did you think of that? I thought the kid that they had right at the end, right before they went to the next scene where
you show his eyes.
Yeah, he's staring at the camera. That look that they found for that kid was just really hardcore.
When I first saw it, I thought it seemed a little out of place because it's like it seemed like it was jumping, into the story a little quick, but I actually thought it was perfect. I like the way they did it. They introduced the story by not kind of introducing the story, if that makes sense. And that you're right, the kid's eyes were amazing.
Yeah, that kid looked like he would kill you.
Right? He looked very unhappy.
So, I always thought that hardcore look was very, very well placed.
't as they're shaving his head or whatnot. I thought that whole bit was very well done.
Yeah. Anyway, since we were talking about the opening scenes, I figured I'd throw that in.
No. I actually thought the locations they shot in, because I think it was shot in Jordan, I thought the locations and the areas, fit the story perfectly.
I didn't do that.
Dubai, yeah. They had one of the mistakes they made is that it was supposed to be in Morocco.
Yeah.
And they had cars with Dubai license plates in the movie. That was one of the goofs.
See, this is what I get. I actually did research, and one of the websites said it was shot in Jordan. It's like, okay.
Nope, wrong.
Oops. Yeah. Swing and a miss. Actually, the part I love the most about this movie is how it was filmed in acts.
Yeah.
How each
one had a title, and I meant to actually look up and see what all those little titles meant, because there was a couple that they didn't translate.
I think they were the names of the areas they were in.
There was also a couple names of people.
Oh, okay.
Because they did one about Noel.
Oh, yeah,
the mother,
right. Yeah.
And they did kind of a history of her right when, like you said, when her brothers kill.
Yeah. Wahab.
Yeah. Wahab and anyways, yeah.
I really love the way they did that. My favorite part actually of that is when they introduce the mother and then they intertwine her children into it. I love how her daughter and her are parodying the locations the way they do it. I thought that was really well done.
The first time I saw it, I kind of lost track a couple times. I'm like, is that the mom or the daughter? Because they did a good job making them look similar.
I actually had the same.
It was
same
difficult.
Thing happen.
It was
they look
very difficult.
similar.
I
a
was,
couple times.
I was watching this with my girlfriend. I had the same thing. Is that the mother? She's like, no, that's the daughter. No, it's the mother. Nope, it's the daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
I really dug the way they did in Acts. Because I thought they did a masterful job of really tying both people in.
Yeah. I thought this movie had a lot of intrigue. It was kind of a little bit of a slow start. You kind of weren't sure exactly if you really wanted to see the adventure that they were going to go on. 'Cause
Right.
pretty much that's what this movie is. It's an adventure that they travel on. But I thought the intrigue of how the mother presented her will was enough to keep me interested. I don't know if you guys felt the same way.
When I first heard the things, it's like, well, I want you to go to find your brother and do this and that. My whole thought is, really, you're going to send your kids into the war zone you escaped?
Well, she was sent away from.
Yeah, oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little weird, but I actually love the way they presented the will. It's like, I want you to do this. If you do this, you can do this. And the supporting cast guy who played the notary?
Yes, the notary.
I really love the way that character played off. It's like, because her son said, just open the letters and just be done with it. I don't care. And the guy's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna let you do that.
Yeah.
One of your sites was right. Part of the film was filmed in Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we've got Jordan in Morocco and Dubai
Because I really do think
and
that
Montreal. And it answered a lot of questions for me because it was the French Canadians that made this movie.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I thought I mentioned that last week.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
so, yeah, good for
For
you.
a French Canadian film, what did you think, Rob?
Oh, my
you
God.
don't like
Okay, you guys
subtitles.
ready? No.
I
And
really am.
And right off the bat,
We need the drum roll.
yeah, you better get it going. 'Cause so the whole idea for movies for me. Now, you guys are, I understand where you guys are into these movies and you're into the plots and you're into the twists. And you don't really care if it's subtitles or what it is. But I look at movies in a little bit of a different light. At this stage, I've seen enough movies. I want a movie that's going to entertain me, and I'm not going to have to keep my attention on the movie the whole time to know what's going on.
He just doesn't
So
like
I had difficulty. I watched it last night, but I did have difficulty with a lot of times with, trying to watch what's going on in the film, but reading what they were saying at the same time. So there were a number of scenes there that I was so concentrating on reading the subtitles, I lost the scene. So it just reinforced for me that I just don't like movies with subtitles. I understand, and yes, this movie got a lot of very good ratings. It won one award somewhere, and okay, good on it. The plot was interesting, I guess. It wasn't really enough to hold my attention because I was losing the translation going on in it, and I kind of thought back and go, would you really make this kind of journey into that land knowing what's going on? I mean, I guess you would, but I could care less if my family's over in a country like that, and I wouldn't go.
See, that was the son's point of view. The son said, I'm done with it. I don't really care. She was nuts anyways. And then that's why I thought the driving behind it was the daughter. The daughter said, I want to find my brother. I want to know what happened that made my mom
You know what I would have said?
Case.
Bye.
And
See you later.
That's pretty much what he did, because you didn't see him until she found out her spoiler alert, mother was raped.
Yeah.
And
she thought it was the brother that was born of the rape.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when that happened, that's when she said, I need you here now. And that's what he said. I'm there to get the daughter. I'm there to get my sister.
Right.
And the notary said, okay, sure. Right. Okay.
Yeah, whatever, go.
Yeah, and then I thought it was funny the sister's just like, now it's your turn to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
So
you're already here, so you might as well.
And that's my point. I'm sorry. I mean, for those of you out there that want movies for a pure enjoyment of a movie, this is not it. I'm sorry. No, I totally, I say this is not it. But if you really like, some interesting plot lines, also showing some ethnic areas in people of a different religion and idea than what we have,
cultural background.
The Christian.
Yeah, the Christians
the Christian background.
the
That's
whole
right.
bus of people.
That's right.
And the little girl trying to run back to her mom.
But the point is,
by the way, I think that's the first time in the Middle East I'm a Christian has ever helped.
Yeah, but the thought is that maybe if you are into that part of it, you might enjoy the movie. Now, me, at this stage of my life, and like you guys all know, I hate subtitles, so right off the bat, that got the first tick, boom, right there, I'm not going to like it.
We don't call him the old guy.
That's right, we don't call him the old guy for nothing.
4 o'clock.
And really, the whole thing didn't do a damn thing for me. I mean, just being honest with you, the story, I kind of went, all right, yeah, maybe it's plausible, but in some respects, I don't think it is.
You know, I understand where you're coming from because this one is not. This film is not considered of people reading subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There are some films that they don't shoot through the subtitles so quickly.
Well, the
this film
Christmas
was one.
one.
That one was slower.
The subtitles
That was fine. I didn't have a problem with that
subtitles
one.
went really pretty fast, but I think, at least for me, I think for some of the scenes with subtitles, you didn't really need it as much because of the way the characters interacted with each other.
Yeah.
And this movie, I think, was very scene driven, very action driven.
I find myself guessing on some of it, going, I'm trying to watch the movie and not really say, okay, they're saying this, I
so
think.
I can understand where Rob's coming from on that.
Totally.
No.
But, you know, I
You movie guys.
pretty much like you said, is we enjoy this type of film for a different reason than that.
Yeah.
And we're not bothered so much by subtitles yet. We might do that in about 5-10 years.
Yeah, you might. Why don't you take about 2 months and nothing but movies with subtitles and then come back to me?
That.
That's what all it's going to take.
I've done that.
It's another 2 months.
TV.
Don't forget, I'm an anime fan, so I've literally read
Lord have mercy,
hours
you
and
guys.
hours and hours of
This
entertainment.
is like probably the
And you
8th
don't know
movie
how
I
to spell?
picked with subtitles
Yes.
in this show.
Yeah.
Probably the 8th or 10th movie
Yeah.
that it picks with subtitles.
Yeah.
But what did you really think about the twist? I mean, if you really got down to it, where it was actually the son basically became an interrogator who raped the mother until she gave birth.
My favorite part of that scene was the pool scene when she saw the 3 dots. That
Right.
whole thing to me was like, the first time when I saw that scene, I'm like, that was well played. That was very
There
well
were definitely
played.
I didn't give anything away to the storyline. The storyline had some interesting parts. Some of it I didn't think is probable would actually happen. Let's put it that way. But with that said, somebody sitting down and writing this script, I thought it was done okay. Yeah. I mean, it was a story that they came up with, and
But now
it was okay.
the thing I really want to throw at you, Rob, is that we've talked about this
Bring it on. Bring it on. Come on.
A
Bring it on.
lot about Hollywood and their repeated plot
and
devices.
And you know I hate that
this is
too.
This
true.
is an original script.
I agree with you
Original
because
story,
my biggest bitch is all the movies are the same, and you're right. This is totally different.
Yeah.
And as far as that angle goes, good on them. You know, but still not my cup of tea, and I can't tell people out there if depending on how you like movies, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
I think far as like the character development on this movie, the one character that I thought had the most interesting development in this movie was the mother. I don't think the siblings had development, but the mother's thing from going being very, very innocent to
hardcore assassin.
to assassin to
powerful prison icon that became
the Singing Prisoner 72.
Yeah, it became a cultural thing for I don't think it was the Muslims. I think it was the Muslims that ended up having her as somebody that they were talking to as the singing lady that gave inspiration.
When even the warlord was kind of like, gotta give her respect. I thought, and then the most interesting part to me was how, like, I guess she's, the kid said she was always kind of spacey, wasn't always there. That was the part that really surprised me the most, is how she went from being a killer to be an icon to just kind of being, very spaced out, was very interesting to me. Because I always thought, was it all because of her son?
Her
her first child. That was
May. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah. Well, that was the one question to me they never answered, is why did she really feel so bad because she could never find her first son?
I think she was worried about him and wanted to rescue him out of the terrorist group because she knew that that's what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what was happening in most of those camps. So I don't really know. I mean, I think part of it was that it was for her son, and then she saw how both groups were treating each other, the Muslims and the Christians battling, and she decided that she couldn't stand by the Christians because they were killing so many people, and they were supposed to be the better group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what sent her hardcore over the edge and killed the right-wing Christian leader.
But
I don't know. It's kind of, I think it was part of her just snapped, I think really is what happened.
Just kind of broke.
Yeah.
I
think whoever the terrorist guy's name was, the son.
Abu Tariq.
Tariq.
What did he change his name to from something May?
Yeah.
M-A-I.
Anyway, I think
it was Nawal.
Nawal, that was the mother's last
Yeah, that was
name.
last name.
That's last name, right.
Anyways, but I don't know. I think she did have a lot of development because, like you said, she went from innocent to hardcore killer to basically a tough prisoner to basically a completely lost her mind mother.
Well, that's just like what they tell you not to get between a mother bear and its cubs. Well, they become...
Part of it is you see the scene with the warlord and her in the van, and he pretty much tells her, "We're sending you out of the country. We're sending you with your kids. You need to keep them safe." Mm-hmm. And she didn't like that. You could tell on her face the way that she played it was that she did not like that because these kids, she didn't care what happened to them because they were the product of a rape in prison.
Yeah. Which in that culture, from what I've read, is it's very looked down upon.
You didn't even remark about the tattoo on the baby's foot.
We've talked about the tattoo. Yeah, I said the tattoo when she saw the tattoo at the pool.
Okay. The pool scene from and reading this a little bit, you were talking about the dots, right? The 3 dots. The 3 dots, and you realized she was having a stroke.
She had a stroke right there? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
What do you mean? That was the stroke.
Yeah, she had a stroke after seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When she sat down on the chair, she was having a stroke.
She was having a stroke.
Oh, okay. Because they showed that scene earlier when she's like, mother,
yeah.
the daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right,
yeah, and they rushed her out to the hospital, yeah.
And
okay, I was trying to figure out that. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
okay.
That answers that question.
There's the two other things the one thing that really surprised me is how much religion actually didn't really matter to the story. It was kind of a background item to give more detail and kind of drive the story a little bit, but it wasn't in your face like I was originally expecting it was. I was really impressed the way they played that. What about you, James?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was well done. I mean, there's a lot of different things in this film that are well done as far as development and story-wise and plot movement. But the thing I gotta say is that the reason why I like this film is, and I said it earlier, is that there's intrigue for me, there's adventure, and I mentioned it to Rob, is that this is something that is an original story. Mm-hmm. You probably would have enjoyed it a lot better if they had actually given it
dubbed.
English, dubbed. But
but then still,
it's not a movie for everybody.
Oh,
and it's
totally.
not a movie that you can watch repeatedly.
It's not a. It's not a blockbuster. It definitely.
It's 2 hours.
No,
We'll get back.
It's basically a foreign film that kind of got picked up a little bit here.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So that's kind of. I mean, they did that with a bunch of different films, like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Right.
Let the Right One In. They did remakes American remakes for it. And I think if this one was done the same way like they did with Let the Right One In and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, no, they couldn't, because there's no. I don't think
they've stolen a bunch of films like that and done it over here. I kind of say they stole it, but they didn't really. I think
the difference in that though is I think that's the basic story I think translates very well to being Americanized. I don't think this story would fit to be remade here because I think you're missing a lot of cultural stuff because I think that the part of this movie part of it I really liked is because it was in Canada, and you got to see because the way they show it to me is like, okay, they're obviously not from there, so you see their struggles and this, and then they go over to where they're originally from. I just don't think this would have made a very good movie if they made it Americanized.
I don't think it would at all.
Because most Americanized movies they try to jimmy. That the other cultural...
They try to force it in.
Yeah, they try to force cultural stuff that's not American culture or try to change it so it fits the American culture, but it ruins the story in the process.
Yeah, this film won't fit in American culture. It really would not. I don't think that it would do well. I don't know. It would be interesting to see how they did it and if it made it. But I don't think it would.
So what did you think of the payoff at the end when they finally got back and they were able to deliver the letters to Abu Tariq, which wasn't his name in that part of the movie?
I thought that was really well played. I liked the fact that he's basically standing in the doorway of his apartment building or whatever, and he opens up the first one and he starts to read it, and it basically says that these people that just gave it to your kids and they know who you are.
Mm-hmm. And know when you've
he
done.
Just like basically craps himself and busts open the door like, whoa, where'd they go? Who are these people?
The part that,
how do they know who I am?
I think the part that really punctuated that is because in that letter it said, something about silence, and you will be silent.
Yeah, well, it says the silence is broken.
Yeah, that's it.
And then it says, and now you will be silent. Because it's basically, yeah. But I thought that part was really well played. I did... The scene that always made me laugh is he's sitting on the bed. He just finds out. His sister doesn't know. Mm-hmm. She doesn't know about the brother raping the mother, and he goes, 1 + 1 doesn't make 1? 1 + 1 makes 2. It doesn't make 1. 1 + 1 doesn't make 1. And she's sitting there. And honestly, if I was her, I wouldn't understand what the heck he said. But all of a sudden, it clicked in her mind some magically way.
Yeah.
And she's like, and you just hear her break down, and it's.
I think what it is because they actually give little subtle hints throughout the movie, but you don't connect the dots until they basically tell you.
No. They basically tell you. They tell you that they tell you who was born in sequential order, because they pretty much tell you right off the bat after Wahab gets shot in the forehead, and then she gives birth to one child with 3 dots, and then. You have to assume that since she gave birth in prison, she gave birth to the twins. So you already know that early in the film.
You don't connect it because
you don't know that it was the son that raped her until later on.
Yeah, that's why I think they actually do show it to you, but without that little bit of information, then it goes.
Not the same way that they did in The Sixth Sense, where they gave you multiple hints throughout the film.
Oh yeah, totally, definitely.
Anyways, so I thought that was a better scene than the father reading it. But when he's sitting there and he's reading those things, I always wonder what really goes through his head when he realizes that he ended up raping his mother that he spent his lifetime looking for, and he gave up. And these kids are basically
a child of a mother he raped.
Yeah.
Not only that, but basically incest. That's why they're incendies. Incestides. I don't know.
That's why
I don't know where they came from.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, I think that the payoff for me really at the end was when he was standing in front of his mother / wife, or person he raped's grave. I thought that was really well played because I think they didn't really show his face, but I thought that scene you could see. I always imagine you see his heartbreak, you see all this, the emotions, the pullback on that. I thought it was really well done.
I thought it was interesting that the way she looked at herself, and in her will, that she does not deserve anything.
Yeah.
She deserves to be buried naked with her butt facing towards the world.
Yeah.
And with no gravestone, no marker, and then her kids are the ones who actually earn her that.
Yeah, kind of redeem her.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
So, what did you give this movie?
I honestly give this movie a 4. I don't think it's... I think there was some wow factor to me in the fact of how they played the plot. But, like I said, it's not a movie that you can watch repeatedly. And it doesn't quite deserve a 5, but it's an original plot. There's a lot credit that I have to give towards it, so it's a 4 for me.
So, Rob?
So, I'm gonna steal a line from one of the guys who left the post about this movie, and he says, if your son ends up being the father to your younger children and you want to find him, just hang around the community swimming pool because everyone ends up there sooner or later. So I give it a 1.
Whoa.
Wow.
I actually think that's the first one in Real Flix Review's history.
No, I think I gave 1.
Really?
I think I did.
Well, doesn't matter. This is a 1 to me.
I think I give it to Super.
It needs to be buried and put away.
Wow.
Along with the mother.
Wow. See, this is where I'm actually for me I have to give it a 4 to 5.
Wow.
And here's the reason why. It's very close to me, it seems like, to a movie both James and I really love, is Everything is Illuminated. It has very similarities to me, and I'm kind of a sucker for a story like that. It's not for me it can't be a 5 out of 5 because it's missing some of
5 out of 5.
It couldn't be a 5 out of 5 for me because it's missing some of the subtleties and the enjoyment factor that Everything Illuminated does for me. But for me, for me personally, this is a strong 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Well, good on you guys.
So,
I'll tell you.
Before James gets to movie news, Ryan couldn't make it tonight. So what we're going to do is next week he's going to give a 5-minute spiel and a rating. So we're going to see what he says.
We're going to try to keep him to 5 minutes.
So which means he might be outvoted more.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just telling you, don't go see it. Don't waste your $1 at the Red Box.
So, or $1.75 if it's Blu-ray. So, do you have any movie news?
I found a couple things. a couple things that are basically spin-offs of the Avengers thing going on there's a short that's come out called All Hail the King. It's a Marvel one-shot, 14 minutes, and it's a documentary of interviews of Trevor Slattery.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, who was basically the plot actor who played the Mandarin in the Iron Man.
The actual Iron, and not Ben Kingsley, but the actual Mandarin.
Yeah, well, Ben Kingsley's actually playing Trevor Slattery, but yeah, so
okay.
He's playing the Mandarin.
Yeah.
The guy who portrayed himself as the Mandarin in the film.
Yeah.
Trevor Slattery.
I've heard of it. I've never actually seen it.
They're gonna do a little interview of him behind bars, kind of like a documentary style type thing. That sounds kind of interesting.
Is it released or?
No, it's gonna be released. It hasn't got a date on here. Oh yeah, never mind. February 4th, 2014. So it's already been released recently, and it's out. You can watch it.
So
it's kind of interesting, but
send me the link and I'll put it on our Facebook page.
You know, it's. And then the other news I found is that Black Widow is possibly going to have her own film too.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I was kind of excited when I read that.
The Black Widow?
Well, for one reason, because she's an interesting character. I'm afraid of it being more of a...
The double spy?
Well, because
she's got no powers.
Well, no, but she's kind of like Batman in a way. She just has a very dark
She'll have a burst
history.
of radiation. And
my only
Spider-Man.
My only the only thing I'm afraid of, it's gonna be it's Johansson in a tight skin suit outfit that show her naked type of thing. But if they actually do it storyline, I actually think it has potential to be really good.
I don't know.
Potential.
I think I'm at the point right now. I'm jumping on the bandwagon of Jeffrey. This is enough Marvel.
So here's the thing. I got some minor movie news. If you have a second.
Okay. Go ahead.
If you don't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have more?
I had a little bit more, but it wasn't interesting enough.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not interesting enough.
The other thing is that the stills from the second wave of Marvel is started to come out, and the one from Guardians of the Galaxy has come out, which looks really interesting. The next one is there potential to be a Doctor Strange movie.
You know, that's been in the works, and I would really love to see Daniel Day-Lewis play that. Hint, hint, hint. I've mentioned this before.
God, I just want to see behind the scenes. You know, him say, "I am Sorcerer Supreme." Well, I just want your coffee.
Have they said who's going to be portraying Doctor Strange?
Everything I've read so far is it's possibly in the third wave of Marvel.
No. I mean, like, have they released who they're looking at to play?
I haven't read anything about that.
Because I know that there's been rumors of Daniel Day-Lewis actually being Doctor Strange.
I actually think he would do an amazing job.
I think he would do an amazing job, too. That's all that I'm curious about. I don't really want to see any more of this stuff. I mean, that's basically what the news is flooded with is there's a Marvel clip over here, there's a Marvel clip over there.
But here's the thing.
One that I'm interested to see is the X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yes.
There's a bunch of photos coming out with Beast.
Yes.
But this is all that the news is being flooded with.
I'm looking forward to it.
I want something interesting.
Something new.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
something new.
The other news is how they say Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's bat suit is supposed to be amazing. I've read everywhere. I'm looking for movie
nipples
news.
on it.
Chris O'Donnell, we're looking at you.
No nipples on the bat
some
suit.
kind of new tech, huh?
It's supposed to be more. It's supposed to tie into the original Batsuit. So my
the
question,
original Batsuit was just
Well,
pleather
well,
stitched together.
The question is, which Batsuit? Are they talking about the one from the 20s? Are they talking about one from the 60s?
TV series?
Yeah.
Then it's just tights.
Yeah, spandex.
Yeah, men in tights.
So I'm looking forward to the Guardian of the Galaxy because it just looks interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it's going to play off. I really don't.
You know,
especially when you do have Vin Diesel who's voicing Groot, which I think will do a good job. The guy who voiced Iron Giant and launched, is responsible for one of the worst lines in cinema history. But you have Dave Bautista.
Really?
He's playing one of the characters.
I hadn't heard that news yet.
So we'll see.
I think I've been trying to stay away from superhero news for a while.
You can't. You can't.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it really is hard. That's why I know that. There's even more Ant-Man news going out, and I'm just like, who cares about Ant-Man?
So
I grow big, I grow small.
So I got a question, real quick. If you guys wanted to go to the movies this weekend, what would you see?
I'd see RoboCop.
Okay.
because it just looks hilarious.
You just got to see it just because. I don't
I-
blame you. I
I-
got to see it just because too.
Trailers.
Yeah, trailers. I don't know. What about the movie that's coming out during World War II? I got it just.
Oh,
you know.
Monument Man. I want to see that.
Man.
Now, I would love to see that one. It's
Yeah.
not released yet.
Yeah, I think it's coming out.
Is it coming?
Yeah.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
I think
now.
it
You
may
said
be this.
weekend.
I think it may be this weekend.
I
I
would
think I'd see RoboCop.
I would probably be
Yeah.
RoboCop, and if it's actually still in theaters, I'll be honest, I'm surprised because up here where we live, RoboCop 3 was in theaters for 2 days.
Really?
I remember for a
You
weekend.
really couldn't have got much worse. I mean, you've got to
No.
admit, RoboCop 3 was just.
Don't forget, RoboCop 3 was basically after RoboCop 3, they made a TV series, which was campier than RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
So,
pretty
you know. So,
Anyway.
So I was
Because-
just curious so we can
So-
tell our wonderful audience out there what maybe they can watch this weekend.
so next week, the way this month's theme is your co-host picks for your host. So because Ryan couldn't make it,
Monument Man.
Yeah.
What's up?
Because-
yeah, I'd go see that one.
because Ryan couldn't make it, Ryan texted James on the movie that he's picking for James. So what?
It is a movie that came out in 2013 over the summer. An international crew of astronauts undertakes a privately funded mission to search for life on Jupiter's fourth largest moon, and its title is Europa Report.
Okay.
I can't even remember if it was in the theater.
I
I
don't
can't even
remember.
remember if it was in theaters. It was over the
Yeah.
summer, June 27th,
I don't-
2013.
Europa Report. Well, it'd be something.
Tagline:
Yeah.
Fear, sacrifice, contact.
Well, I like space stuff. That's
I
fun.
totally don't remember that being.
I don't
I
either.
don't remember
I don't
either.
remember.
I
I never
didn't-
heard of the movie.
I know.
This should be fun. None of us know it.
I
Yeah.
picked the movie last week. Neither of you guys ever.
That's right. That's
Right?
true.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I gave the movie Incendies a 4 out of 5. James gave it a 4 out of 5. The old guy gave it a 1 out of 5.
The very rare one.
The very. And I'm usually pretty generous.
Yeah.
and next week we're going to see what Ryan gets. I'm kind of hoping a 4 out of 5, but it could be a 1. You never know. So, ladies and gentlemen, from everybody here at Real Flix Reviews, we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Thank you.